Hello guys and welcome to another episode of the Unite podcast. Today we have a very special guest, one half of what currently is Unite coaching, Kdtrains.
Yep, it's good to be live and direct. We've been talking about this for a while, haven't we?
Yeah, to be fair, when we actually first spoke about the podcast, it was fucking, how long ago?
When I was in prep,
Yeah, probably like
we were
6
like,
months
yeah,
ago.
we'll do a podcast, and then we never did, but here we are now, live and direct.
I know, like, life just got crazy quick, didn't it?
Yeah.
Like, for everyone on all fronts. So, today it's a very informal podcast where me and Kimmy are just going to go into Kimmy's background in fitness, how he got into coaching, obviously when he joined Unite Coaching alongside me, everything that he's done in his career as a bodybuilder, with him obviously having competed this competitive season in 3 different federations and placing strongly for his first bout in fitness. Going forward is obviously in off season and he's going to compete again. So we'll go over quickly, because there's a lot to talk about, your journey into fitness. So where did it all begin?
So for me, it started when I was younger. Obviously, like, I was like a chubby kid. Everyone knows I like cake. And I was still like the little chubby kid. Then I hit puberty, like year 7, year 8. Kind of lost that, got a bit taller, but I ended up with like man boobs. Proper, like, found it weird, like, didn't like it, unconfident. Like, you know, in the changing rooms, I'd be like half taking my top off and that, so people didn't see them. And I remember this one day I was like, right, they're not that bad. I'm gonna take my top off and see what happens. I won't mention their name, but one guy saw him, he's like, Kimmy's got man boobs. I was like, oh shit, no.
Real fun.
So after that, I was just so like unconfident about it. And then a few lads started going to the gym, so I was like, right, I'm going to start going to the gym. Let's get rid of these man boobs. And it was about year 11, I started going to Total Rebuild. Used to save my lunch money mum and dad gave me, like a tenner, and £6 for the gym and then £4 to save. And then literally started seeing the progress, and I just fell in love with it, man. It was like every day you start to see yourself get stronger and look better.
Yeah, it's funny because obviously there's a bit of an age gap between us, isn't there? Like, how old are you again?
So I'm 28, nearly in my 30s, which is mad. I feel so young, but I'm not, clearly.
Yeah, you look about 12, but
yeah.
No disrespect, like in the nicest possible way, like you've aged very well. Whereas like I'm 23 and I look 45. Do you know what I mean? So basically, Kimmy's journey into fitness is the same as mine and most people. He was young, he wasn't happy with how he looked, he went to the gym, he went and got it, he's took it to the next level now, he's been doing it for years. And then fast forward to from there to competing. So you've gone through the journey now, you've done bulks, you've done cuts, you've done diets, you've balanced it with your lifestyle, which we'll go into further later. Your competitive season then, like, what was it like to do your first few shows? Like, obviously, I was going to ask you, like, how did you get through it all, and like, how did you, I could tell everyone myself, but you can tell them.
Yeah, of course. Well, I've always wanted to do a bodybuilding show, but I've always been like afraid of thinking, what's people going to think? How's it going to affect my relationship? But then last year, around this time, I was just like, fuck it, let me just do it and see where I can take it. I've always wanted to do this. It's been 10 years now, and I'm running out of time. And Jess was like, you know, it's time to have a baby and all of that. Yeah. So I was like, you know what, this is the year. And I loved it, man. It was probably one of the best experiences I've ever done. The discipline, the drive it teaches you, and if you love it and you want to get after it, there's no better feeling.
You just decided, you started training like 1 year, 2-3 years later, decided, I'm going to jump on stage and like chase some mad goals, because it was quite a realistic, tangible goal of yours to compete in men's physique, because you had the frame, the size and the physique for it. So when it came to like your diet and your cardio and everything, like what was your macros like, what was your cardio like, what did it take to get into sure standard condition?
About 3,000 calories, eating 220 protein, 400 carb, 70 fat, and it was about just bringing that down slowly as I was seeing plateaus. Then in terms of cardio, started at 40 minutes cardio daily, which is tough. Not a lot of people can do that, but I was a big lad. You've seen the pictures. You were there with me anyway, so
I was on the phone to you literally every day.
Yeah, so I was a big lad, and it's funny because before I started to prep, I remember getting my planning from Freshwater and going to him, is this not too much cardio? And that was only when I was doing 40 minutes cardio and 15k steps. And I remember panicking, thinking I'm going to lose muscle. And then fast forward to the end of prep, I'm doing 70 minutes cardio every day and 15k steps on like minimum calories.
Yeah.
But I didn't start in an optimal position, so I had to get there. But
Yeah.
it's what I wanted anyway, and I wanted to be in the best condition, and I wanted to experience what it's like to be lean.
Yeah, and obviously you've held your condition very well. Like you reversed out slowly. You've come out of show condition. You come out of the competing scenario, and you're actually still holding very good condition, aren't you?
Yeah, like I've reversed out, and one of the things, again, going back to me being a chubby kid, like I didn't want to just eat everything. Trust me, like post prep is so hard. It's the hardest part of competing for me, because you've no longer got that goal and you've got the freedom to eat. Everyone's like, you finish now, do you want a cake, do you want to go out for food, do you want to do this, do you want to do that? And it just makes it so difficult, because you're thinking, fuck it, let me just eat everything. But your body's so responsive at that stage where if you do go 10,000 calories every day, which some people do, next thing you know, you've put that 30 kg you lost in prep back on.
And obviously you are a natty, aren't you?
Yeah, natural, yeah.
Natural, lifetime natural.
Lifetime
I've
natural.
had some people message me asking if you're actually natural, to be fair. That's why I just dropped that in there.
You know what? Sometimes I look in the mirror at the moment in this reverse and I go, I'm a fake natty me.
Yeah. What do you weigh in kilos?
So, as of this morning, I was 80.5 kg. So
Wow.
that puts me 10 kg up
Yeah.
since I started prep. The thing with being natural is people see me in the gym with a pump, in the best lighting, getting the best angles and think I'm massive. But like, look at me in this t-shirt. Like, if I was walking down the street, you wouldn't be like, that guy's a bodybuilder, that guy goes to gym. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I don't know actually, because you probably still would, because you are wearing a baggy t-shirt and you're not far off filling it out. So I feel like obviously body image is quite a big thing for us bodybuilders, because I looked in the mirror today since I turned natty 3-4 weeks ago, and I felt like I've been natty for too long and I need to jump back on some assistance because I feel small.
Yeah.
But realistically, then I said this to somebody and they just laughed at me and said, you're an absolute idiot, like how could you possibly look small? My body weight is exactly the same as before when I was towards the back end of my reverse diet coming off. And then I'm looking at me now feeling like I'm like wasting away. But
Yeah.
that's one thing that most people will struggle with in this industry, isn't it? Like body image and stuff.
Oh, yeah, of course. I think because you're in that constant pursuit of progression and you're always thinking, right, I need to be better, I need to look better, I need to look like X person, I need to look like X person, and you're comparing yourself to others. So that's the first problem. And then the second thing is the way bodybuilding is, progressive overload. You want to progress everything. So every time you look at your physique, all you do is identify like weaknesses and saying, I can improve that, I can improve this, which is probably not a good thing. So I always sometimes try and sit back and go through pictures of myself when I was younger and think, actually, you know what? This is what I look like now. And it helps when people send me fake natty messages. So anyone watching this, carry on.
I know, it's a bit of a compliment when you tell a natty to look fake natty.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's massive. Body dysmorphia is massive, and it just doesn't. It doesn't affect just me and you. It affects
like
everyone, even the biggest guy.
Everyone that I've spoke to on the podcast, every single bodybuilder I've ever spoke to, it says the same things. But obviously, you've got to embrace the positives. So, what are 3 positive things that you took from your prep?
So for me, the first one is consistency. Like if you consistently put the work in whatever you're doing, you'll get there. So like me, it was 7-8 months of consistently dieting, consistently doing my cardio and consistently training. And I finally got lean enough to step on stage.
Yeah.
That's the first one. Number 2 is discipline. Again, you've got to be disciplined to get up day in, day out and put the work in. Literally know like you've got boxes to tick and just keep ticking them, whether you want to, you can't be bothered, or someone's sort of sending you a message to say, oh, let's do this, let's do that. You need to tick your boxes. Again, that carries over into other aspects of life. If you're disciplined, you'll always achieve what you need to do because you'll get the work done. They're the first 2, and then the third one is the support. So like for me, Jess, she was proper like so supportive throughout my prep. She understood. She was like pregnant at the time, and she's like wanting to eat takeaways and do what stuff that a pregnant person should be doing, and I'm there dieting. So she was supportful. Never once did she say, right, I'm fed up with you doing this. And she was literally a rock throughout that prep. And then you've got you, all the calls we were doing at the time to sort of get me through. Like when I was doing 70 minutes cardio, we'd jump on the call and we'd literally talk and it'd make the 17 minutes go
faster. So I actually just decided to prep because you were prepping.
Yeah, exactly.
Just went, fuck it,
so like those three, like consistency, discipline, and having that support circle, it shows you how valuable having that support is. And then those other two aspects of it, in the discipline and consistency, that just taught me if I can take this and apply it into other parts of life, be it work, be it another hobby, be it anything, like you can go so far with it.
Yeah.
And then obviously the support, those guys that support you, you need to then support them when they're sort of pursuing their goals.
Yeah, because like, obviously what people don't really know, people that know us know, but a lot of people watching the podcast don't know us personally. And I always forget, like, people don't actually know me. They see what they see on socials. Me and Kimmy have been friends, and like we've literally known each other for like I'm 2009. I was like 12
years, bro. Like 10.
So what? 14, 15, 16 years.
Yeah, around
it's
that.
Ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah. Since you were like young, I was young as well.
Like I was in primary school. You were in secondary school.
But you lived near mine.
But we lived on the same street, so we used to walk past each other every single day because
that's mad.
But the thing is, like the what to take from that is like the support that I gave you. It just went without saying. Like that's just standard. Regardless if it was fitness or non-fitness, I'd support you through anything, and vice versa. You did the same with me. Like around the same time, I was like a bit lost with Unite coaching and where I wanted to take the business, and I was consoling in you quite a lot, saying like, what should I do?
Yeah.
I just stopped using my app, and me and Jack had split up, and I was just like, Kim, like, what, like, I don't really know what direction I want to take my business in. And obviously, we went through the whole development phase of Unite together while you were prepping, and it was a dual support thing, if that makes sense, really. Like it works very, very well.
Yeah, we were back and forth bouncing ideas, man. It was a sick experience, a sick time. It's weird being in prep, like everything's so
quick though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like we're both sat here now, like eating whatever, not eating whatever, like back eating food, and we're just like adrenaline's over. We're chilling, and it's like we're now on to the next thing.
Yeah, your life is in a completely. It's so polarized. Like everything's just like so intense in everything that you do.
Yeah.
And then when you come out and you look back at it, you're like, whoa, what just happened?
Yeah.
But such a sick experience. I posted about it on Instagram. I learned so much from it.
Yeah.
And like I said, the main aspect, the support and everything. And like you said, we've known each other for such a long time.
Yeah.
And it was it brought us closer because you're talking every day and like. Your senses and all your feelings are heightened again. I think it's the hunger, definitely. Everything's heightened, so it built up our relationship loads, and I got on board with Unite, and we did some good stuff. And
the Mazda, to be fair, in a very short period of time, because at the start of the year I didn't really do much, and then everything happened towards that last end of the 7 months, which has then obviously led into everything that's to come next now.
Yeah, of course, man.
So you work full time, don't you?
I do.
And you are now a full-time dad.
Yes, and a full-time dog dad. Shout out to Pablo.
And a full-time dog dad. And I know you, and you genuinely use every single last second of the day working towards something. If it's not like working towards your relationships with your son, with your fiance, with the dog, with the business, with your clients, how do you manage such a? Because you have a lot of commitments. Yeah, how do you manage that?
That's such a good question. I don't know.
Like, how do you actually manage that? Like, obviously, I can answer the question for you if you want.
Nah.
That's how you manage it, but
like
I want to hear how you.
The thing is, it's easy to say I haven't got enough time, and it's quite good because I'm now in that position where I've got all that going, where I can use that as an excuse. But for me, it's about turning all those things and activities that you need to do into a habit. Because a habit is something that you do without thinking. For me, getting up in the morning, 5:30 to take Pablo out, my alarm goes off, and I just get up and I do it. Like, it's become a habit now. I just have to do that. There's no excuses. It's just like when you walk in a room and you turn the light on. Like, it's just you just know that you need to do it.
Yeah.
So that's the first aspect, turning everything into habits, such as walking the dog, training, spending time with Jess and saying. They're all like habits that are part of my day now where I do without thinking. And then everything else is prioritizing what is important to me. And I heard a good quote the other day where it says, do things that yourself tomorrow will thank you for.
Yeah.
And that's a big aspect of why I do what I do. And, you know, doing the coaching on the side, working hard at work, doing my training, that's all to sort of make my future self be in a better position.
Yeah.
So it's prioritizing those things, so later on down the line I'll be in a much better position, and developing those positive habits are king, man. And then obviously like being disciplined enough to continue them as well.
Yeah, because obviously when we were a bit younger, we were like friends, our habits were very different to the habits that we have now. So we still saw each other pretty much every weekend.
Yeah, of course.
We went to raves, Ibiza, like everything. Like we didn't miss nothing. We went local pub, job lot, and then fast forward to a few months down the line, and then our habits changed. So we're going to the gym together all the time. In lockdown, habits then were different. We were like training in a garage, going on walks, and it's like changed. Like the evolution of our habits has changed, as obviously our priorities have changed, and like our goals have changed, and we've grown as people.
Yeah, of course.
And obviously, as somebody watching this podcast now, you have to be willing to accept that change, don't you?
Yeah.
Like, change is a big thing. And that brings me on to the next topic then now. Like, what is next for Kimmy, Mr. Kdtrains? Like, what have you got planned in the pipeline in terms of fitness, business, and just in general?
So, for me, the first part is enjoy life with my family. So, after taking all of this year prepping, now is time for me to enjoy with them, especially because they supported me through it. So that means lots of activities like going on meals out, Christmas markets, taking Seth to the zoo,
play areas.
Exactly, play areas, all of that. That is number one, because family's first. Number two is growing some more, because I do want to win. I'm not a competitive person. Like, I'm the least competitive person ever.
You're more competitive against yourself than you are against other people.
Yeah, exactly.
You do hold yourself to a good standard.
Yeah, exactly. So next part is also put some size on. Like, everyone knows I've got a big back. I know that, but that's just making that even better, and then growing the chest, the shoulders, the arms. So at the moment, it's off season, growing, getting stronger in the gym.
What's your training split to achieve that goal?
So at the moment, I'm running a push-pull legs, off, push-pull. So prioritising the upper body. Shout out to the men's physique boys. Don't need legs, do it.
You do.
But that's that from a training perspective.
Yeah.
And then from a business perspective, it's continuing to sort of help guys develop those habits I spoke about, and prioritize the things and activities that their future selves will thank them for. So that's working with as many guys as possible and helping them in their fitness journey.
So in regards to guys, then obviously me and you are very we know what other coaches watching this need to know that you have to narrow down and hone down your niche. The guys is quite generic, like you know what your actual niche is. Like, what is your niche?
So my niche is people who've been in a position like me where they used to train in their younger days, they were athletic, played football, and now they've kind of let go of that and accepted like the corporate work cultures got into them, where they're no longer prioritizing the gym, they're just thinking about work, and then the weekend comes along and they think, oh, let me get a drink, let me de-stress. So those type of guys my age, big football fans, you know, it's about getting them fit again and getting them feeling good and confident.
Yeah.
Like, there's no better feeling than looking in the mirror and being happy with what you see. And also what comes with that is mental clarity, that, you know, you've got no worries, you're confident in what you do, and that will carry over into your life and other parts of your personal life. So it's helping those kind of guys, and obviously continuing to sort of grow the Kdtrains brand, because that's what it stands for. I always say like Kdtrains is my alter ego. I may come off as quite confident, but really like I'm quite introverted.
It took 12 months for me to like consistently pester you into becoming an online coach and jumping in front of a camera, didn't it?
Exactly, like I come off as confident, but I'm not. I'm very introverted, and it takes a lot. I worry a lot about like what other people think and how things are going to be perceived. So it's continuing just to push that and push the confidence across, and help other people gain that confidence. And one thing I've learned from you, which was a big thing, is basically not to worry about what other people think. Like for me, I wanted to start my Kdtrains page and I was really scared. Like I started it, didn't follow anyone, had it on private. And then I was like, what am I doing? No one cares like that you're posting fitness content on Instagram. Like people have got their own worries and their own stress. They're not going to be bothered about your little Instagram page. No. And once I started thinking like that, it gave me more confidence to post more and share my journey. Even if one person finds it interesting, that's good. And if someone thinks it's weird, fair enough. There's probably things that they do that other people think are weird.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
So continue to sort of push Kdtrains, and obviously continue to sort of help you out with the podcast. I know I'll be stepping away from Unite coaching as a coach and pursuing my own thing with Team Kdtrains, just so because of the vision and what I sort of want to target in terms of a niche.
And like if you've got a business and you've got direction, you've got target clients and niche and your marketing and stuff like that, you cannot have conflicting niches within one umbrella because it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, of course.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, like
me and you were always going to be best mates, like regardless of whatever we do. We came together with Unite Coaching, we kind of went in, you were a fresh coach, not really knowing where you were going. Exactly. And it was, for me, bringing you into Unite Coaching, you had more of a role to play in the background in terms of like systems and everything else that we're doing in terms of like project management and just make sure I just didn't lose my head. And then from that, you've developed and grown and flowered into your own personality. And for me personally, to see that from my friend is like I love that. I love that that's something that's happened.
Do you know of course, that's sick. And like, you know, with whatever project you're going on, I'll still be involved in terms of the podcast.
Oh, you still do,
You know, I'll still be involved in the podcast, and with my online coaching, I'll still ask you questions when like for like support. So it still bounce. It's not even a thing. Nothing's changed.
But for me, running a business as an actual CEO and looking at the business, you are better suited doing everything that we do in the background and having your own brand and growing yourself to your target niche. For me personally, your target niche is not specifically the type of people that I would work with.
Yeah, exactly.
No disrespect, but I don't realistically let my clients drink alcohol on the weekend. You posted a post that said you can have another pint. I'm like, bro, what the fuck you on about?
Yeah, you did actually, yeah. And that's it, like, I don't mind my clients doing that. So.
No, that's calm though.
Yeah, exactly. They still make progress. Yeah. Like, a lot of my clients, I tell them, you know, you can have spirits, not pints. Spirits, not pints, trust me. And still make progress, because the next day you've got to get back up and get back on it. Whereas you wouldn't do that. So it starts to have conflicting interests within the business. So that's where I'm taking it in terms of the coaching side. So yeah, it's a pretty exciting time for me. I'm excited for what 2024's got to bring, because like this time last year, like all this that's happened up until now, the confidence that I've gained and the things that I'm doing now, I would have never thought I'd be doing. So yeah, man, it should be good. I'm looking forward to jumping into 2024 with a bang, and seeing what I can do with it, and then sitting on this podcast this time next year and discussing what the last year's been like.
We're just going to continue to work collaboratively as friends, as we always have done, but there is absolutely no point for us to have a joint brand, because individually we can grow,
especially
exponentially in our own niches.
Yeah, and
then from that growth, when you grow separately and then come back together with two different armies, it's like a Mazda. Whereas like at the moment now with what we're doing, we've got a bit of a glass ceiling, just in terms of literally just like having enough time to correlate. Things like filming content within a brand is important. Your schedule and my schedule now, like, they used to be like in line with each other, perfect. Now it's a bit chopping and changing. But if it was another situation where like you were in a job and it wasn't working and you had to like whatever, like continuously do something that wasn't, when you're in a situation where you are continuously trying to make something work, but then you've got priorities that conflict. You have to like beg the question, like, why would you put yourself through the stress of trying to make something fit when you could just grow two separate things?
Yeah, that's it. The vision's different, but the vision's still the same.
But what we did was sick, like, we came together, we brought Reunite back with a bang.
Yeah.
Group shoe, you built your clients up very quick. Like 0 to your capacity very quick.
Yeah, man, it's been good. Like, looking back and reflecting, like, I'm one of those people who start thinking, what's next? And I think most people who are bodybuilders and are in the fitness industry are the same, because it's always that 1% better, progression. But it's nice to look back and think how far I've come this year. Now it's been proper sick, and I'm looking forward to, like I said, the future. And like you said, you're going traveling. That's another thing. Like, our environments were so different that it made it difficult. So that's it, man. So family time, big chest, big shoulders, big arms, and then Team Kdtrains. Get all the guys building those good habits. So if you're a guy who needs good habits,
whoa, you can't advertise your coach on my podcast.
Give me a shout.
Send me all your inquiries.
You can drink. Well, if you're willing to drink, obviously, but if not, Kev's the guy for you.
But yeah, go on. So let's talk mindset then, Mr. Kdtrains. You are what I would call a function psychotic.
No. Do you know what it is like? My mindset's changed loads over the last 3-4 years, to be honest. I think as I get older, as my late 20s, I'm a lot more positive now. I used to be a very negative Nancy, as you could call it.
Yeah.
And now I'm very positive outlook on life. I'm a glass half full rather than glass half empty kind of guy. And I think you just need to look at life like that, because so many things happen in life that you can just put a negative mindset, negative spin on, and you'll end up always looking at things negatively, which is just not great for your mindset.
Yeah.
So put a positive spin on it, always be happy. Like, if anyone saw me in prep, there was never a day where I was miserable, because you're doing something, you might as well go all in with it and sort of be happy with it.
Yeah.
It is hard, I'm not gonna lie, but I don't know, I just try to be a happy guy, man, and maybe probably watch too many positive mindset videos.
Yeah, but you can brainwash negative thinking out of your mind. Like I did the same thing. I went through a period of just listening to positive noises, podcasts, reading positive books, reading mindset training stuff. And the next thing you know, like, my mindset was fixed. I went through a period of time where I was always very angry, like unhappy, stressed, and just through like practicing positivity, like you would do a bicep curl or tricep extension over and over again, I grew the positive mindset. I mean, obviously, I'm not as positive as you. Like, you're like on some different. You are literally Mr. Positive.
Toxic positivity. But the thing is, I still have bad days, like anyone does. But I still have bad days. Of course, man. Everyone does. Like, the other day I had a parking ticket. I was furious.
From what?
Oh,
the parking ticket you got from my posing practice.
Yeah, it took Kev to posing practice.
Right, so we're not out in no gyms here, we're grafters in the gym. Gave Kim a parking ticket.
So, and I was furious and things like that. I still get that, but the next day I wake up and think, is it really that deep? No. Everyone's still healthy. I can still go to the gym. I can still do everything else, and then I start smiling again, And I hope that rubs off on some people and they start to be happier, because once you do, man, like, every day that you live, you're just buzzing. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't need something to make you happy, because you generally are.
Yeah.
That's that from a mindset perspective, and then again from a disciplined perspective, just being disciplined gives you that freedom. Some people would say otherwise, but in my view, I find it gives me freedom, because once you're disciplined, it gives you freedom to do the things that you want to do
in moderation, so you're not taking it too far. The caveat to that is, the reason why I tell people not to drink is because if I had one sip of alcohol, I wouldn't see a point in just having that one drink. Like, why would you go to a pub? I've said this on another podcast before. Why would you go out to have half a night out? Just stay in.
Yeah, but it's
Obviously-
moderation if you're on a diet, but it depends, and it swings and roundabouts. But if you then are able to be in a position where you drink, then the next day you develop the discipline to get back on your diet or go do some cardio or do some training, that will again be beneficial because your discipline will get better, and then you start to view gym and diet and cardio as something you do whether you've had a drink or not, and then now you're developing that into like that positive
because some
habit
people,
again.
because like when I do go out and have my 100% all or nothing nights out, it's a 2-day rest.
Yeah, of course.
So that's why I just don't do it.
Yeah, I mean,
And
I'm the
obviously
same,
caveat
like,
is if you can go and you can have that one drink and you can go home and go to sleep and then get up and go to the gym, then fair enough, because you're not catastrophic. Like it's not catastrophic to your routine or to your plan, realistically. Which I do understand where you're coming from.
And the thing is, I don't say then, do that every weekend, or like if someone was in a photo shoot prep or like a diet prep, like a serious,
It's just a straight.
they'd be like, there's no point because you're putting yourself in.
There was no one on our group shoot that was drinking on the weekend.
Yeah, like in an optimal position, but you can go very, very far by doing that and make a lot of progress.
And then it'd be the last tool that you pull out.
Yeah, it's the last tool that you definitely pull out.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things. I mean, I hate hangovers, so I've not had a drink all year. I don't know when I'm going to have a drink. I'm not going teetotal. I will have a drink at some point, but at the moment, I'm enjoying without, because I feel like consistency of play, like consistently at the moment, I'm waking up like feeling so good. The moment I drink and have a hangover, I'll wake up feeling like, and I'll lose that.
It's like a domino effect.
And I'll lose that momentum, whereas at the moment, that momentum that I've got is carrying me forward in everything, and I don't really want to do anything to break that. So at the moment, a lot of the things I'm doing are the same, and I'd rather just go out and have some brownies and a donut rather than drink, because that's what makes me happy.
Yeah.
So at the moment, still not drinking, but if people want to drink, fair enough. It just depends on how you handle it. I handle a hangover like a baby.
Yeah, so training and nutrition and what's your approach? If I came to you now as a client, I said to you, hi mate, I want to lose body fat, what would be next?
So it's just assessing where they are, like are they a new trainee or have they been training for a while, review where they're at with it, what are they eating, have they even been going to the gym, and then from there it's about putting a plan in place that fits their requirements. So a lot of my clients, I'll work with them to put a diet that they can adhere to. So I'll add snacks in like 501s as well, so things like that. I just want to make sure that it's, people that come to me are not bodybuilders. They're not gonna eat chicken and rice every meal. Not that bodybuilders do that.
And then on the contrary, like my clients, you looked at some of my clients' plans, haven't you, before, and you said, you felt sorry for them.
Not that, but it's just something where, like you said, it's different niches and different, like putting people, giving people different plans. So I try and help them again towards their goals as well. So throwing in a few things that probably wouldn't be classed as
99 calories is 99 calories.
Yeah, exactly. So
like
that's,
if you have a 99 calorie fiber bar or 99 calories worth of habit.
Tell that to Eddie Abdu, bro. Like, he's seen him, he's like, what the fuck is this? He's funny, to be fair. He's an interesting guy. Like, he's nailed his marketing, and he now has people that follow him and think what he says is the Bible because he markets it well. And fair enough, that works, but again, you could do something else. There's people who have squares bars with shredded glutes. Like, just because he says squares bars have got loads of things that are bad for you, they're not. So that's the idea from a training perspective.
And he also argues stuff about like there's no micros in that food, but you could just have greens in the morning to like bypass that.
Yeah, you could just have greens.
He's extreme. Eddie Abdu's a very extremist in his like he genuinely believes absolutely everything he says is gospel.
Yeah, I mean, you need to have an open mind. Yeah, you have to have an open mind to anything. Like, I have an open mind to a lot of things. One thing I always say is like a weakness is like I'm very centre, which to some people might mean I can't pick a side, but I'm very centre. I always look at the argument on both sides.
You're very what's the word?
I'm very fair. Like, if someone argues one side and someone argues another, I'll pick positives out of both sides, and I'll be like, you know what, both ways work.
Yeah.
There's never a time where I'll be like, this is the right way, this is what you need to follow, which a lot of people are.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's what gets you clicks, that's what gets you views, and that's what
Objective.
Yeah. Like, and people like, that's what gets clicks, that's what gets views.
Yeah.
And I'm not like that. I'm very centre, so you know, maybe something I need to work on. I need to move to the right and move to the left and see if I start getting clicks and views like I did. But so we'll do that from a nutrition training perspective. Everyone, I usually do a push-pull legs split with a rest and then a push and an upper. I like that kind of split. Or busy guys, I have a lot of guys who do 4 days.
Wait, so you do push-pull legs, rest, and then push upper, or you do push...
Sorry, and then
I'll put this, so just pretend like you just never said
yeah,
that.
so I have a lot of guys who are quite busy, so we do push-pull legs, rest, and then upper, so like a 4-day split.
So we've got 3 rest days.
So yeah, they have 3 rest days. That gives them plenty of time, and those rest days, you know, they'll be getting steps in, and that's a split that works really well. You can train 4 days a week and still make progress.
Yeah.
Like my last bulk off season, as they called it, I was doing upper lower.
We had to train together, I remember that.
Yeah, I was doing upper lower, and
Yeah.
I saw a lot of progress with that. And it's a split that works, and you have 3 rest days to sort of rest and recover. And there's some people who train 3 days a week and make progress, as long as when you're in the gym you're putting that intensity and you're putting your muscle under the stress and getting the volume in, you'll still progress. Yeah, people who are doing more frequency will progress more, but if that's what you can commit to because of your time constraints, you'll still make a lot of progress.
Because you're working at 100% of your capacity.
Yeah, exactly. But then this comes back to my left or right kind of thing, because I know people who do 6 days a week, they smash it as well. Like, high volume training works, but then at the same time low volume, high intensity training works as
Right,
well.
but if you had to pick high or low volume, what would you pick?
I'd pick medium right in the middle. Which is something like low volume for your big body parts.
No,
and
if
then
you
high
had to
volume.
pick, right, high volume for the rest of your life or low volume for the rest of your life, bro, like, you haven't got a choice here.
Oh.
You either go to a gym and you do strength sets, 5 to 8 reps, that's it, max, done. 10 reps is too many. Or you go to a gym and you're stuck consistently doing 15 reps minimum every working set heavy. What are you picking?
I'd probably then
Honestly, like, what's going to develop your physique more? Like, what are you picking?
Well, for me, I would probably go low volume just because of my joints. I've got terrible joints. So, like, I've got elbows. We've got a lot.
I'm not done, speak.
Like,
Your knees hurt.
have you put it back on?
Yeah, your knees hurt.
Yeah, like, I'm like an old man. I've got sore knees, bad ankles, bad elbows, bad wrists. So if I'm doing high volume and putting that amount of stress through my joints, it's not gonna.
And you are a natty as well.
And then I'm natty from
Obviously,
a recovery perspective.
yeah.
But high volume for things like shoulders, like lateral raises, you can do that.
You're low volume forever, bro.
You can't. See, this is what I'm saying, like black and white. But the centre works, people. Like, you know, do centre. It won't get you the attention that you want, but you'll be able to, like, pick the best bits out of certain things and apply them.
And that is an approach that does definitely work.
Yeah,
because,
of course.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, 100%.
Obviously, when it comes to fitness, nutrition, training, there is no right or wrong.
Yeah, no, like, that's like a lot of things.
You get a client that will come to you and they'll be like, I work 9 to 5. My goals are to grow my, I was going to say glutes then, because I get so many inquiries that say I want to grow my glutes these days. I want to grow whatever body part is that you want to develop, and then you put that person on the plan that's fit for them, don't you? Specifically.
Yeah, of course.
And then, like with you, you've got joint problems and stuff like from the past, so you wouldn't go high volume because you don't want to put them under strain. You like to mix it up. Whereas, like with me, I'm assisted. I'm not scared to blast. I'll use peptides. I'll use GH. I'll use whatever I need to use to make my body accommodate whatever I want to put it through, and I will literally blast myself against a brick wall with as much weight and as much volume as I possibly can.
Yeah,
and both approaches do work.
Yeah, the grey area works as well. Nothing's
like everything works. Like everything works. I just genuinely enjoy coming out of the gym feeling like somebody has smashed, like literally run me over with a tractor. The tractor's not even big enough. We're trained
with a train. Yeah, exactly. So it's just picking. Like for me, nothing's black and white, so you got to pick out from the main bits, and that's what I tend to do with my training, and it seems to be working because I'm growing. So that's it. Like, a lot of people chase maximum optimal, but the other thing is you've got to enjoy your training. Like, you've got to enjoy what you're doing.
Yeah,
and
how I train is not optimal. There's not many people out there who would even enjoy how I train,
yeah,
or
like
even
2 sessions a day as well.
but I wouldn't put any of my clients on the type of way that I wouldn't put some of them I've asked to. Like, I trained with Ethan like 2 weeks ago, and he's like begging me for more volume now, to be fair.
Yeah.
But like, most people don't even have the time to be in the gym for as long as I'm in the gym.
Yeah,
as well.
exactly.
So there's a lot of like variables that come into play. But to round it off, then realistically, like in terms of training and nutrition, then you will always cater to the client.
Yeah, that's it. More relaxed approach than most people, to be honest. That's what I'll say. You know, if someone wants to have Biscoff on their oats, you know, we can measure that. Biscoff and peanut butter have got the same macros, and Biscoff tastes nicer.
One's got more fats, one's got more carbs, but technically speaking,
yeah, close enough, to be honest. If you make, they're not far off, but yeah, I agree.
They're close. They are close.
They're close, and you know, if
it's not catastrophic to your deficit.
No, it's not.
It's not going to put you out of your deficit, something that, or like surplus because you swapped that for that.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like I'm saying have fried chicken over grilled chicken or something.
That'd be catastrophic.
Yeah, no, KFC in the building.
Yeah, I once. Do you know, like when I put chicken breast on someone's pan once? Imagine 6 months later, I found out they were having chicken thighs instead. Just thought it was the same.
But yeah, that's something again. Chicken thighs and prawns. Go with chicken thighs, like they're good. Like chicken thighs, they do the job. Chicken thighs compared to like mince, like having mince. Like people have like lean mince, mince and chicken thighs have got the same macros, and you know there's going to be times where you need to have chicken breast.
What's the golden percentage variance in macros that you'd say is not too much? So, for example, what percentage variation in macronutrients would you say is the maximum, like upper and lower value? So what, let's say for example, the threshold is 500 calories. What's the highest variation in calories? Would you go up or would you go down?
Probably like 10%. Like
both ways.
Yeah, look, as long as, like, if you're getting a protein source, like 150 grams of 5% mince and 150 grams of chicken thighs is the same amount of protein. It's about like 40 grams of protein and about 10, 11 grams of fat. This is like skinless, boneless chicken thighs.
Yeah.
So it's about the same, and like people have lean mince, but then they look at chicken thighs like they're the devil. They're not. It's still chicken. It's still a good lean protein source.
And it still provides you with natural fats.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not telling someone to swap like rice with like a Galaxy chocolate bar. I'm saying things what might taste nicer and are close.
See, this is so like I don't know if it's just me, but anytime I've ever given clients freedom, this is quite early on within my coaching experience, because I used to actually be very macros, and I lost my head a bit. But when I used to just like give macros, I realised that I didn't actually have control of my clients, if that makes sense, because
of course, because some people can start to add chocolate and stuff into their diet, which is fair. So it's about educating people to make the right choices, but then giving them the freedom to learn that if you are out and about, why don't you jump on this or jump on that in terms of the food source, because that's what's available to you.
Yeah.
Or if you get fed up of that, why don't you swap to this? Not which is very similar to the food rather than completely different. You know, that's where macros comes into play, especially if you're quite busy and you're out on the go. Sometimes you might need to go into Tesco Express and get a pack of cooked chicken from Tesco Express and then buy some wraps, or buy like a Tilda rice which has got fats in it, but you can take those fats out from the meal later on. That's what it is. It's not like you just have chocolate, because even if you just had like 2 chocolate bars, you've just blown all your fats for the day. You're gonna have to have chicken and salad throughout the rest of the day, you know. So it's just that balance. And again, this is people who aren't going to get stage lean. Like I wouldn't.
This is just your normal lifestyle. People that want to achieve an elite level physique, but they don't want to make those sacrifices to where they're getting up in the
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I still had viscose spread like throughout my prep.
You prepped on
I probably I still had viscose spread like every day throughout my prep.
Yeah.
Maybe if I didn't, those guys would say I would have finished first, but viscose spread's good enough.
Yeah, but then the caveat to that is if you didn't have viscose spread, you might have been a bit more stressed and your body might not have responded just as
exactly.
well.
And I might have ended up
bottling.
bottling prep and not doing it because I wasn't enjoying it. So you know, who knows? Maybe next time when I do prep, I might go meal plan and see where that takes me.
Yeah.
But then I've had an off season from a lean point, so really
you don't mean that your prep's not going to be anything like the last one.
I'll want to do macros again, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But you know, one of those, man.
Obviously, my prep was very different because I was meal plan, digestive issues, chicken and rice 6 times a day, oats, coach, gym. After like 12 weeks of doing this, I hated every minute of my life.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I literally despise chicken, I despise rice, and I fell out of oats. But then going out of that now, I started eating whatever I wanted, and then we just started experiencing digestive issues. So I'm actually back on meal plan. Imagine.
Yeah. Well, it works, man. There's
just what works.
It's what works for you.
It's not ideally like how I'd like to live, but it's just exactly what works. So that's why.
Yeah. There's no right or wrong.
Okay, and just to ask you a quick question then, when are you planning on competing?
So my plan is to get back to the stage in 2025. So this next year is about, like I said, just enjoying time with the family, with Jess and Saint and Pablo, and making memories. And then 2025 is the return to the stage. I'm hoping that will have gave me like about 15-16 month off season, which for a natty is good.
You should be able to put on like 16 kilo then. No, a kilo a month is very, very realistic.
16 kilo stage weight, or just in terms of like bulk weight?
Well, you're lean.
Yeah, so I'm hoping see where it goes. What I'm planning on doing is running that up, like you said, probably 16 kg. I'm 10 kg up now in 20 weeks. So I'll put another in 20 weeks.
So you're very conservative.
Yeah, I'm very conservative. So I'll put another 6 kg on, which would be like 16.
Yeah.
And then I'll have a look from there. I might do a pullback before pushing up again. I'm planning one mini cut in between. So I'll do one mini cut and then go up again, and then 2025 return to the stage.
And are you currently coaching yourself?
Yeah, so I'm currently coaching myself just because I like to experiment and do, and like with my training and with my food.
But even though you are coaching yourself, you do still send.
So I take so I send you pictures and like people watch us pictures, including Jess. Jess is my coach, but no, like I keep myself accountable. So I track my weight every day. I take my pictures every Thursday. I put them on my spreadsheet. I compare them with the previous week, and I hold myself accountable. Like if I've gained too much weight that week, I won't bollock myself, but I'll make sure I'll put measures in place for the next week to make sure that doesn't happen again. Like, coaching yourself requires quite a high amount of discipline because you have to critique yourself. Like, if you put 3 kg on in a week, you've fucked up as a natty because like that is not going to be muscle. So I keep myself disciplined and make sure that in that amount of weight gain, I've not done that amount of weight gain, I make sure I keep it like about half a kg to like 0.8 of a kilo. There's not been a week where I've gained a kilo since I started.
And that's alongside donuts and stuff, the brownies.
Yeah, exactly. That's how the brownies and the cakes. Again, I make sure that the macros fit, and the progress I've made has been very good. So it's weird because obviously people will see me eat a lot of desserts because I'm a dessert person, but the other meals are always on point. I make sure like my protein source is always like chicken breast, mince, thighs, prawns. So I have like solid meals, but on an off occasion, if I want a cookie or a brownie, I'm gonna have a cookie or a brownie. But that keeps me going. Yeah, that for me, that's what keeps me going. Like I love the pursuit of progression, but at the same time, I like to enjoy my desserts. That's just me. If I didn't do that, I'd either end up having like a bad relationship where I end up binge eating on occasionally, which I don't really want to do. So I'm not saying it's perfect, but that's what works for me.
Yeah. So we've is it Chris Bumstead's podcast that he did? Who was it with? I can't remember. He did that podcast and he got asked a very good question, and I'm going to steal that question and ask you the same question.
Yeah.
If you could only do 10 exercises for the rest of your life, what would you do?
10 exercises. So the first one would be some kind of deadlift. I love deadlifting.
Which deadlift would you pick? Could you just pick conventional?
Yeah, I'd put conventional deadlifting. I just like the feeling. Feels good. Back development wise is great. I've included this since I started my prep and I've seen my progress. So definitely deadlift, which would hit my back. Then from a pressing perspective, an incline Smith press. I've been doing this recently and I've been really enjoying it. Like not having the stability, having to stabilize dumbbells or a barbell and just concentrate on pressing is great. And everyone needs more of a top line. Like there's no point doing decline in my view. And then most people have got an overdeveloped lower chest anyway, so there's no need to do flat. So that's why we probably go incline. Then from a leg perspective, I'd probably go with like a hack squat because that's great for like quad development and I feel safe in it, like my knees feel good. I don't feel like it's going to squish me like a normal squat. That covers the legs. Then side delts, like some kind of side delt raise over like a
Would
press.
you go machine, dumbbell or cable?
I would go.
You can't do all three.
I know, so like I'd go with the new like a cuff lateral raise. Just feels good, man. Like it feels great.
Yeah. I guess with the cable you can mess about with.
Yeah, mess about with like the
dragging it through. Like,
exactly.
Kind of you can slice some front delt in or something.
Yeah, no fixed motion, and like everyone needs more side delt anyway. So that would be 4, and then for a 5th one, so now we need the abs. I've been doing hanging leg raises for abs and I've seen some crazy development from my abs. The core strength has been great. So that's probably top 5. And then number 6, we'd go hamstring curl, a seated one. I struggle with a laying press. I don't know, I find it really weird when I do it. So a seated hamstring curl, then a leg extension, which would hit the quads. And then for the next 3, probably a hammer curl for the biceps. I enjoy doing them. And then for the tricep, it would be a single arm tricep push down. That's what I prefer from a joint perspective. Like I feel like, again, bad elbows, it's easy for me to do a single arm press compared to a dual arm. And then the last one would be calves at the end. That's why I got small calves in it. Left always an afterthought. Like a calf raise. So again, that hits all the body. I feel I've not even got any rowing movements in there, but I feel like I'd get good progress from the deadlift.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're my 10. But like, if someone sent it me in advance, I'd probably have maybe changed a few movements.
Yeah, but this is why you don't get sent this.
That's what I mean. That's it in the line.
And then, so it's restrained to only 10 exercises, and obviously we'll restrain you even further. You're only allowed to eat 3 sources of food.
3 sources?
Like that is it. Like nothing.
So
you need 1 protein, 1 carb, 1 fat for the rest of your life.
I love oats, so I'd literally have oats, whey, and Biscoff spread every meal.
You would as well. Do you know what's mad?
And do you know what's funny?
You can swap your whey every day, I guess.
Exactly, like I could have different whey flavours. Do you know what's funny? Like I sit there eating my oats in the morning, and then I'll be like, these are good today, aren't they, Jess? And Jess goes, you eat this meal every single day, and you've had it every single day for like 5 years. How do you still enjoy it? And I'm like, because it's banging.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I turn it into like a dessert and it's banging, man. I'd have that every day with every meal.
And you could literally like bake them, fry them, pancake them.
Yeah, exactly. And then
I'm like, you can, when you get
different flavours of whey. Do you know what I mean? So
you your chicken roll.
And then that hits all my, it's oats as well, which is like a single ingredient down. You've got whey protein from my whey protein, which again.
How many grams of oats and whey and Biscoff do you think you have to go through a day to hit your macros? Should I get a...
You'll have to get like some kind of macro calculator and that.
You may
probably
be like macro calculator.
I know, it'd be like 400 grams of oats.
Maybe half a kilo of oats. So the numbers are 200, so you'd have to have 500 gram of rolled porridge oats, 50 grams of Biscoff thread, which is not even that much really, that's a violation to do that.
It's not.
And then whey protein would be at 250 undigestible grams.
That would be mad, innit?
Stomachache that.
But that's probably what I'd pick, and I think I'd be happy. That's what I'd pick, and that's it.
That's it. So just to wrap it up then today, big news, big announcement. Kimmy is launching his own brand, Kdtrains.
Yeah, man, Team Kdtrains.
And I'm not telling you what I'm doing yet. You'll have to wait and find out.
Exciting.
Very exciting. You know what I'm doing. I say exciting, like, you know. We keep this podcast very, very, very like off the cuff and real. To be fair, like there's no need to like you know exactly what's coming. And the plan of action is basically we're both going to go do what we need to do, grow, and then the rest will be history.
Yeah, man, we'll be back on this. Well, I feel like we'll be doing a podcast again next week or something.
Definitely.
Of course, some different subjects. But yeah, it's been a pleasure. Yeah, I enjoyed it, man.
Yeah, and thank you guys for listening to another thank you guys for listening to another episode of the Unite podcast. Please remember to support the podcast by subscribing, commenting, liking, sharing. If you want any topics to be discussed, if you want to see any specific athletes on the podcast, if you have suggestions as to anything at all that you want in the future, then feel free to drop me a message and let me know. I'll put Kimmy's...
Follow Kdtrains on Instagram.
Yeah.
And Kev_Unite, obviously, the podcast host, and the Unite podcast. And have some business.
Are you going to make a new coaching page? You can buy mine off me if you want. It's got
I don't know, we'll see anyway. But nah, it's been sick being on the podcast, man. I've loved it. I'll be back again. Stay disciplined, get that consistency in, and get that good support circle.
Right, thank you.